Well, the Mueller report came out yesterday, and the mainstream media admitted that they got everything wrong over the last 2 years, and they apologized. I'm just kidding. They're continuing to double down.
And the other thing this report did is that it really corroborated a lot of the good journalism that was done in this entire, he went after all of us every single day.
The Mueller report confirms that CNN was right this whole time, they'd say. Instead of being embarrassed by such a ridiculous analysis, little Brad Stelter decided to post this video on his Twitter account, unironically. Multiple anonymous sources have confirmed to me that Brian locked himself in his office at CNN with a box of jelly donuts and won't stop crying. And there will be a video about that tomorrow. This self-proclaimed journalist who works for the Washington Post says that, quote, "This report makes clear that the vast amount of reporting by mainstream outlets about Trump and Russia was on the mark." President Trump tweeted out this Game of Thrones meme that reads, "No collusion, no obstruction. For the haters and the radical left Democrats, game over." That resulted in this loser, who is the chairman of the Democrat Coalition, which describes itself as the largest grassroots resistance organization, to do the worst Photoshop I've ever seen in my life, and then claim that he, quote, "fixed it for you, proving once again that the left can't meme." All he did is cover up the words no, and he couldn't even blend it into the background properly. MSNBC's Nicole Wallace says that President Trump got away with obstruction and collusion because Fox News kept reporting that there was no obstruction or collusion.
Because this conduct is as sort of impeachable looking, if you put it in a time capsule, as Nixon's conduct. But what Nixon didn't have was an overdrive sort of social media, we now know aided and abetted by Russian trolls, and a news network dedicated to amplifying what is a very subjective read of a report that in the end, if it exonerates them, why are they so upset by all the details?
He would have gotten away with it if it weren't for those stinking tweets and Fox News. I mean, what's next? Are they still going to claim that this is worse than Watergate? Oh, wait, what's this?
Mr. Dean, thanks so much for joining us. Big picture, what is your reaction to the Mueller report?
Well, Jake, what I did is I looked on my shelf for the Senate Watergate Committee report. I looked at the Iran-Contra report. I also looked at the Ken Starr report, which is too big to bring to the set here. It's 4 volumes, over 2,000 words. And I've got to tell you, I read all those, and in 400 words, this report from the special counsel is more damning than all those reports about a president. This is really a devastating report.
And yet Donald Trump is still the president, and there was no collusion. Since the Mueller report concluded that there was no collusion and no reason to impeach President Trump, what did the Democrats do? They went on such a Twitter tirade that they got hashtag impeach Trump and hashtag Trump colluded to trend. This Newsweek columnist posted a 369 tweet thread complaining about the report, numbering every single one of the tweets, which is common when someone is making a thread on Twitter so that you know that it's part of the thread, and he just keeps going on and on and on all day. Look at this. This guy literally has a new book coming out titled Proof of Conspiracy, which is a follow-up to his previous book, Proof of Collusion. Maybe he's just upset because the publisher's asking for their advance back and are canceling the publication. Well, he's still going. Tweet number 370. Billionaire buffoon Tom Steyer had a brand new impeach Trump ad recorded and ready to release as soon as the Mueller report came out, but he probably should have just canceled it because it completely contradicts the Mueller report itself.
Well, the Mueller report is finally here, and Mr. Trump's cover-ups and corruption are undeniable. We already knew Mr. Trump had committed impeachable offenses, but politicians said, wait for Mueller.
Yeah.
Now there's no more excuse for waiting. Congress must begin impeachment hearings now, so that we Americans can see for ourselves how bad it's gotten and can hold this president accountable. No one is above the law.
By the way, thank you for sponsoring my YouTube channel, Tom. I read in the comments that your impeach Trump ads play frequently in front of my videos, so at least somebody is helping monetize the channel. Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff for Brains aren't so convinced. They're both admitting that there's no hope of impeaching President Trump, so they're not gonna even try.
As I've been saying for some time, and I think it's consistent also with the Speaker's own view of the matter, the evidence would have to be quite overwhelming and demonstrable and such that it would generate bipartisan support for the idea that it renders the president unfit for office. Now, many of us do think the president's unfit for office, but unless that's a bipartisan conclusion, an impeachment would be doomed to failure. I continue to think that a failed impeachment is not in the national interest. And so, we'll see what's been redacted from this report. We'll continue to do our own work. But barring a bipartisan consensus, it's very hard to see how that effort will be successful.
To celebrate the Mueller investigation finally coming to a close and clearing our great president, I have released my new Trump Thug Life t-shirt. Order yours from my online store at MarkDice.com or click the link in the description below. Or you can order the classic Russian bot shirt or my brand new I Love Global Warming shirt just in time for spring. They're all available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So head on over to MarkDice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.